Many of the world's ancient civilizations lacked a written language, and those that did weren't in the habit of producing instruction manuals or technical manuscripts to accompany their technology. As a result, we are frequently puzzled as to how ancient technology actually worked. In some cases, we have no idea how or why it was invented. All we can do is marvel at it, which is exactly what we will do in this video. Ready? Then let's get started. Chinese bronze artifacts. Our ancient ancestors developed various skills at various times throughout the world. Nobody in the world was more skilled at working with bronze 3,500 years ago than the ancient Chinese. We can tell from the countless examples of ancient Chinese bronze work discovered by archaeologists over the years, where they merely ornamental items, or had their function been forgotten over time. Because there were so many different cultural groups in China at the time, we do not really know who created the objects. Whoever they were, they appear to be a very advanced civilization. The Voynich manuscript. Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish-American collector and antique bookseller, purchased a strange manuscript in 1912 that has perplexed all who have attempted to study it. The Voynich manuscript, as it is known, is a 15th century book written in an indecipherable code and covered in hand-drawn illustrations. Many of the illustrations appear to be of plants, leading researchers to believe that the book is an early text on pharmacology written in code to keep its recipes hidden from the church's prying eyes. However, many of the images are bizarre, and the code used to write the text has stumped even the most ardent code breakers. Stone carvings in Sahasrara. In India, the Sahasrara site is as popular among science fiction fans as it is among archaeologists. Because the numerous carvings and stunning rock formations on the site resemble the famous dials from the Stargate series, you'll find the carvings in Karnataka if you ever want to go and take a look at them yourself. And no one knows who made the carvings or how they were made. For all we know, such technology did not exist at the time the stones were cut. Some of the shapes and carvings have inscriptions, but the inscriptions are too badly weathered for us to make any sense of them. However, even though this is now a world-famous site, we still know very little about how it was created. Ancient aqueduct in India. We don't know about the race of monkey-like humanoid people, but we do know that whatever culture lived in the ancient village of Hampi in the Indian state of Karnataka is responsible for some amazing feats of structural engineering. This precision-engineered square stone structure could easily pass for a sporting arena, but it's actually an aqueduct. This magnificent structure provides water to a city of tens of thousands of people. The Humvee aqueduct's function is not mysterious, but the oddly shaped blocks used in its construction are. This is far from the simplest way to build an aqueduct. So why was this design chosen? How were the stones cut with such accuracy? Unfortunately, we have no answers to these questions. The Antikythera device. Divers searching for a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera in 1900 discovered a mysterious device that appeared to be the world's first computer. It was a metal disc with a complex gear system that appeared to be over 2,000 years old. Researchers have spent decades delving into the Antikythera device's mysteries, but they have yet to determine its function or how to use it. It could have been linked to the zodiac and moon phases, as well as lunar and solar eclipses, but we really don't know. Cisterns of Carthage. We know more about the Carthage cisterns in Tunisia than we do about Sahasrara, but that doesn't make them any less amazing. The Romans were extremely advanced architects and builders for their time, but the cisterns are among their most beautiful works. Even after the Roman era ended, countless people and cultures discovered new uses for them in the centuries that followed. If you go there, you'll wonder how people had such detailed knowledge of hydraulic engineering 2,000 years ago. The Romans had nanotechnology. In the 1950s, the British Museum in London acquired the Lycurgus cup, a 1,600-year-old Roman chalice that appeared to change colors depending on the light. It was jade green when lit from behind. However, when lit from the front, it was deep blood red. The British Museum's researchers were baffled as to what caused this phenomenon. Researchers studying broken fragments from the cup discovered the answer in an ancient use of nanotechnology in the 1990s. The gold particles in the cup were ground down by the Roman craftsmen until they were only 50 nanometers across, less than 1,000th the size of a grain of salt. The precision of the work indicates that the Romans had mastered nanotechnology by the time the cup was made. The ancient Mayan road network. While the largest Mayan monuments in South America receive a lot of attention, the ancient Mayan road network receives far less. The roads are known as SAC, and while they are exceptionally well preserved, they have attracted very little archaeological research. Each SAC is a mound of crushed limestone and pebbles, with roads elevated above the surrounding terrain. Mayan roads connect all of the major Mayan cities and span hundreds of miles. We call them roads because that is our best guess for what they do. However, we cannot be certain that this is how they were used. We don't believe the Mayans invented the wheel, so what was the point of elevating them so high? The citadel of Aleppo in Syria. Syria's citadel of Aleppo is both ancient and massive. It is one of the oldest and largest castles in the world. It would be considered a remarkable architectural achievement if such a structure were to be built today. It's almost unfathomable that it was completed 5,000 years ago. It is debatable how much of the current structure can be traced back 3,000 years. The citadel appears to have been extensively expanded, repaired, and altered until the early 12th century. Over the centuries, numerous civilizations and cultures, including the Mamluks, Greeks, and Byzantines, have either lived within or used the citadel. Unfortunately, it was heavily damaged during the Battle of Aleppo between 2012 and 2016. A restoration project has been underway since 2017. However, much work remains to be done, and it is unclear who will pay for it. A tunnel network runs beneath the citadel, beneath the moat, and out into the city. Well, they are still being explored to this day. The Phaistos disc may have been an ancient typewriter. Excavations at the Minoan Old Palace in Crete in 1908 resulted in the discovery of a fire-baked clay disc covered in ancient symbols. The 242 inscriptions are arranged in a spiral pattern on the disc, which was most likely forged by hand. The Phaistos disc's function is unknown, but some speculate that it was a type of proto-alphabet made up of syllabary rather than letters. This has led some to speculate that it was an ancient typewriter, while others believe the inscriptions are an ancient prayer. The Chandra plate. The Chandra plate is one of the names given to our next mysterious find. It's also known as the Chandra slab, but whatever name you give it, some believe it's an ancient map. It has even been claimed that the stone's uneven surface accurately depicts the gradients in the region. The first is that such an accurate map could only be created by someone who could see the region from above. The second is that samples taken from inside the rock from shell fossils indicate that the Chandra plate is about 50 million years old. When the two are combined, it's easy to see why so many scientists dismiss this as nothing more than a rock with some interesting cracks and fissures in it. It cannot, however, be dismissed so easily. A layer of silicone-rich glass and a layer of calcium make the markings more visible on top of the layers of dolomite that make up the majority of the slab. The stone clearly shows signs of being man-made. But how does this happen? Ancient city of Nan Madol. Nan Madol is an ancient city built on coral reefs on the Micronesian island of Pompeii. The stone used to construct Nan Madol is not indigenous to the island, nor is it indigenous to Micronesia. That means that at least 1,000 years ago, someone brought extremely heavy stones from an unknown location to Pompeii to build Nan Madol. We have no idea who those people were or what technology they could have used. Alright guys, this wraps up our video for today. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.